This screencast is about how we use population pyramids. A population pyramid is a type of bar graph used to show the age and gender structure of a country, a city, or other area. The horizontal axis is divided into either numbers or percentages of the population, so along this bit would be either the numbers or percentages. And the central vertical axis, this bit here, shows age categories. Every 10 years, every 5 years, or every single year. In this case, it's every 5 years. The lower part of the pyramid is known as the base. So down here is the base, and shows the younger section of the population. The upper part, up here, is known as the apex, and that shows the elderly people. So the very top of this pyramid here is 80 to 84-year-olds. Now, interpreting population pyramids tells us a great deal about a population, such as its birth rates, to a lesser extent death rates, life expectancy, and the level of economic development, or stage in the demographic transition model. So, this pyramid here is one that's taken from stage 1, and as you can see, it has a very wide base due to its extremely high birth rate, right? So, as it says up here, up to 50 per thousand per year. However, because infant and child mortality rates are high, so lots of children are dying before the age of 1, right? Only 50% may reach their 5th birthday, as it says here. The sides of the pyramid, this bit here, go in very quickly. The death rate is high in all age groups, so the life expectancy is low. As you can see, not many people are living very long, 80 to 84. You'll see a difference as we go through the different pyramids. The result is a very narrow apex, so narrow apex up here, and the shortest of all pyramids, so it's not very long, and that is, as I say, stage 1. This pyramid is at stage 2 of the demographic transition model, and as you can see, it's similar in shape to stage 1. The death rate begins to fall, making the sides of the stage 2 pyramid slightly less concave, so you can see it's slightly straighter here. Concave is where it kind of goes in. The apex shows a few extra elderly people as life expectancy begins to rise. So this little bit at the top here is slightly thicker than the stage 1, but very similar. And remember, our example country is Afghanistan. This was their population pyramid in the year 2000. So it says here, sides were less concave because the death rate drops. The base is a little bit narrow because the birth rate's not quite so high, and there are a few more elderly people living. So this is a pyramid at stage 3. In stage 3, our case study here is Bangladesh in the year 2000. As you can see, the narrowing base is due to the decrease in the birth rate. So remember, stage 3, the birth rate's decreasing. The sides become straighter, so this is much straighter than it's previously been. The birth rate's decreasing quickly. Health improvements allow even more people to live into older age. As you can see here, we've got slight bulges here where the birth rate had previously been a bit higher, and obviously it's starting to drop now, and so the base is starting to become narrower. Our stage 4 pyramid is a pyramid for the USA, and again in the year 2000. All of these are taken in the year 2000. This pyramid has become much straighter. Look at the sides here. It's less of a triangle shaped. It's shown a steady low birth rate, so you can see birth rate's been quite low for a period of time. It's got a high life expectancy. Look how big these bars are at 85 to 89. So most people are living into their 60s and 70s. And as I say, there's a significant number living into their 80s. So the birth rate reducing causes a concave shape here. So it's going in slightly as the birth rate's reducing. Most people die in old age, say up here, and therefore the life expectancy is high. This is a population pyramid shown stage 5, and again, remember our case study was Germany, and Germany has been at stage 5 in the demographic transition model since the 1970s. It was one of the first countries to reduce its birth rate to this extent, and this can be seen, the extent of that, at the bottom of this pyramid. Look how much shorter these bars are at the bottom compared to this middle-aged group. These are the people who are no longer having children, and therefore causing that low birth rate. When today's middle-aged people become elderly, so when these people move up to here, there's going to be very few people as these move up in this middle-aged category who are actually earning money to keep those old people. And as you can see at the top of the pyramid here, the pyramid goes to 100 plus, increasing proportions, and the very elderly group. And of course these need looking after once they've reached pensionable age. This diagram shows us population pyramids for India. Now, one of the things the population pyramids can do is help you predict future population change. And as we can see here, this is in the year 2000 up here. We've got a prediction for 2025 and then we've got a prediction for 2050. Computer programs can predict future population patterns from today's statistics. Although India's birth rate has fallen, its base of the pyramid still remains wide because there's so many young adults in childbearing years. So as you can see, these people in the year 2000 being born, so the high birth rate, as they get older and into that kind of age where they start having their own children, it means that the base stays wide, so that in the future, as you can see, the base of the pyramid for 2050 is very wide, all the way up to kind of 50 to 54-year-olds. By 2025, the number of babies born each year will have stabilised. So that's therefore, as you can see, the fact that these lines are quite straight, the similar kind of length. And then reducing slightly by 2050. So if you look at the numbers here, just over 62 million males, about 58 million females, compared to about 59 million males in 2050 and about 55 million females in 2050. Increase in numbers living to old age. So as you can see here, not many living past 80, more living towards 90, and now got right up to kind of the 100 people sort of living to. By 2050, most of the people, if you look here, are living past 70-year-old, and India will have the characteristics of a stage 4 population by then. Urban areas of many countries at lesser stages of development are predominantly male in all age groups up to 60 to 64. Usually more boys are born than girls, explain the differences at the base. Rural to urban migration in search of work remains common in countries at lesser stages of development. So people moving for work. Men and older boys leave the women, younger children and elderly behind in the rural areas. Cities offer great opportunities to earn money, which can then be sent back to improve the family standard of living. Sometimes whole families make the migration. So what's happening then is in India, this is for the whole country, but the population pyramid for a particular city might look very different. And it'll have more males due to the fact, as we've just been mentioned, that these males are migrating to the cities to try and find jobs so that they can earn money and send back to their poorer families in the rural areas.